A lot has happened this summer. Where do I even start from?
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my.
When I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child. But when I grew up, I put away childish things. One thing about human beings is we dwell in the familiar. We struggle to let go of the life we envisioned for ourselves in the past. We forget that those aspirations were the visions of the 10-year-old version of ourselves, and they do not serve us any longer. We drew for ourselves Project 30. Yes, 30. The by 30 or before 30, I should be living a certain lifestyle and own a certain car. None of that is in sight, but what if, instead of feeling disappointed, we give up altogether? This is your sign to give up. This summer, I learned to give up. I understand the conventional things to hold on, persevere. They tell you to push harder. No pain, no gain. We are taught quitting is for the weak, but what if all along, letting go was the solution to the problem? You see, one thing I spent a lot of time understanding this summer is project management. And as project managers, we are taught to have contingency plans. Project managers do a lot of planning, and sometimes things just don't go as planned. Having a contingency plan is you predicting and accepting that there's a likelihood of a critical event that will affect the whole project. And if that's to happen, how do you respond to it? We only add contingency plans to the project if that risk will affect a major part of the project. If the problem we predicted doesn't directly or necessarily affect the project, we just avoid it altogether. I'm not beginning to sound a bit technical, but please hear me out. Let's say you're in a position to draft a business contract. Whatever the contract is about, there will definitely be risk involved. There's something called assumption of risks. That is you deciding to either accept the risk or transfer the risk to the other party involved. I'm going too high. Accepting the risk is like coming across a huge wall in the middle of your path and deciding to break through it. Transferring the risk would be just jumping over the wall and letting the wall be someone else's problem to fix. I am challenging you not to exert all your energy trying to break through the wall, but to just jump over it. When I say give up, I mean let go of the version of yourself you planted and watered all these years, which has refused to blossom. Change focus and plant a new seed altogether. Change the dream. We always tend to hurt ourselves when we try to manipulate situations we have no control over. Sometimes we have to accept that we are not Bob the Builder. We don't know how to fix it, and we don't even have the power to fix it. Whenever I personally feel stuck, my motto is, let go and let God, honestly. I just accept that this is not my battle to fight. You have to learn to change your perspective and how you handle things. You come across a stumbling block you very much know. You don't have the strength to fight. Why not focus on the tools you have in your arsenal and not what you do not have? The fascinating beauty of rodeo shows is not just the entertainment, but the skills the participants display. You can easily tell that this is hard work over the years and lots of discipline. We, the audience, sit in the crowd, cheering them on with our shouting and screams, having no idea of the sweat and tears that went into their training. There were times I even had the audacity to lie to myself that I can do that. How hard is it to sit on a bull? What I admire most about these cowboys is how they learned to understand their strengths and use it to their advantage. No one cares about what you did to be successful. We applaud champions not caring about their pain. What are you good at? What comes naturally to you but just needs a bit of fine tuning. Focus on that. That is how you become great. The best getaways are the unplanned getaways. We all have that one friend that will text you randomly at 3 a.m. asking you if you're interested in doing something ridiculous. That's what happened this day. I didn't even know how much I needed some time away from the city till we got to the location. Since this video is about giving up, one thing I also give up this summer is the lies I've been telling myself. That my love language is words of affirmation. No, it's not. Not really. I really love the act of service and the men taking care of us during a mini getaway. While I was taking a long unplanned nap like the princess that I am, forever a baby girl, they were outside taking care of the snacks, food, setup and everything. All I had to do was just, for the first time in a long time, exist and have a great time. Another thing I also gave up this summer is productivity guilt. If I feel like you have too much time on your hands and instead of just enjoying it by doing something you love, you immediately fill in that gap with something productive. Yes, you are your own problem. I'm judging you. This is why you are burnt out and stressed. I'm a victim of productivity guilt and it makes me hyper conscientious. I know it sounds like a good thing, but it really isn't. You always do things weeks ahead of time before the actual deadline. Let's say I have a deadline approaching, the project is due maybe on a Sunday. Loretta has probably worked out herself and finished the project by Tuesday, and now I feel guilty that I have 6 days of freedom. I think I should talk about why I look a bit bald-headed here. This is actually my hair in its natural state slicked down. I don't usually leave my hair in this state. I'm still learning to love it this way. I never really thought much about it till one day my Mexican friend said, "Loretta, I've never seen your hair do the puffy thing." And I was like, "What puffy thing?" And he was like, "When your hair looks like it's reaching for the sun." He was used to seeing my hair straightened or with extensions and was just curious if I had normal black people hair. In this journey of giving up, I hope you learn to accept all of you and show up as your authentic and true self.
Well, he has 2 paddle boards.
Oh, I'm just like hoping he's okay. To while away time before paddleboarding, one of my favorite things to do was just stopping random strangers in their tracks to pet their dogs with my friends.
She's quiet but naughty.
Okay, got it.
So she was trying to sneak out from the cage and eats anything she can find. Everything, say.
Don't eat anything. Smile for me. You see the way he's pumping my butt for me so I don't have to? Very cutie, very mindful, very husband material. Fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. My favorite all-time quote is, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. I still remember when I decided to start a YouTube channel. It was very scary and it still very much is, but it is one of the boldest decisions that I'm very much proud of. After my first video, I had a couple of friends reach out to me to talk about how they were scared to chase their goals related to being in a creative space, but seeing me put myself out there was a push they didn't know they needed. The passion burning in you that you've been quenching with fear is supposed to start a ripple effect that will impact the lives of many generations. Have you stopped to think of it? Don't you think it is selfish of you to dim the light inside of you that's supposed to light the path of many generations to come and many souls? This is your sign to give up fear. The fear of you not being good enough or worthy of good things. The fear of what if this or what if that. It's time to believe in your potential. What did being negative ever do for you? Keep on telling ourselves that we are just being realistic. No, we are not. We fear that we might be too positive and end up disappointing ourselves. Your fear of disappointment will eventually tend to regret because you never took the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and you, my darling, will be left behind for not being brave enough. Nothing good comes easy. Sacrifices will have to be made. It could be giving up your social life temporarily, or less sleep, or maybe eating your peas and greens more to stay healthy, or hitting the gym often. Eventually, you will have to give up something. Instead of being afraid that it might not work out, why don't you view it as a learning curve instead? I am not an advocate for learning everything through mistakes. That is not wise. But mistakes are inevitable. We are bound to make them. You have to master the art of moving on. You grieve for a moment that things didn't work out, and now that you know what doesn't work out, you're getting closer to what actually works out. Fail faster, learn faster. You failing is not as painful as missing out on opportunities because you never gave yourself a chance. Learn to love yourself, choose yourself, advocate for yourself, clap for yourself. You'll have to fight for yourself, leave the comfort zone. Repeat after me, I am a badass. This summer, I was a badass. I gave up on imposter syndrome and chose myself. I learned to clap for myself even when no one was looking.
Okay, 1, 2, okay, good job. See?
If you could time travel, where would you go? If you had a chance to live a different life, who would you be? In the pursuit of giving up, I had to go back in time to figure out if I loved the life I'm currently living, if the version of myself in the past and the present were to cross paths, what conversations would they have? Will my past self express disappointment and my present self express regret? Will these versions of myself clink their wine glasses together and make merry? Will they be proud of the journey thus far? Will they say, Loretta, I'm proud of you, we made it? Or will they say, I told you so? Let me ask again. If you could time travel once in your lifetime, where would you go? I think I'll revisit the day I almost gave up and hug myself. I'll tell her, hold on, we are almost there, we will make it. You know the thing they say about success? Oftentimes, they talk about how lonely the journey gets. Being an ambitious woman like me is hard. We often want so much and set the standard so high, we just cannot afford mediocrity. Everything has to be above par. We can't envision ourselves living a life where we dwell in satisfaction. We pursue fulfillment. Why accept just being good enough when we can get the best? I often think about the story of Joseph and his brothers a lot. I mean, Joseph in a coat of many colors from the Bible. Yes, that's Joseph. He woke up one morning feeling on top of the world because he had had dreams of his wonderful future and was super excited. However, the journey to fulfilling those dreams started with misery and slavery. One thing I've grown to understand about God in my Christian walk is He will reveal the future alright, but He will not give you the map to the destination because He Himself is the map. He is the way, the truth, and the life. If you've ever been in a position where deep within you feel like you're destined for great things, but currently doesn't look like it, I want you to always remember Habakkuk 2:3. The vision is for a future time. It describes the end and so it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently for it. It will surely take place, it will not be delayed. Can you hear the train? I don't know if you can hear. Dun, dun. This is so beautiful. I'm just sitting on a bench in the middle of nowhere, having like the best view, and the sun is making me glow. This is officially like the best summer yet. I'm so happy I took some me time off. This is now like mental health vacation. I'll be going back to my boring 9 to 5, but at least I still had a mental health break. I love this, I love you. During this period where you figure out how to love yourself and figure out God's purpose for your life, I hope you find rest. The type of rest that comes from the assurance of God's word. Do not fear has been mentioned 365 times in the Bible because God Himself understands we are human and doubt occasionally grows in our hearts. We are not meant to do this life thing alone. I enjoy visiting this small village. I found it funny how they all dressed on theme and cosplayed how life would have been many years ago. Everything was kept the same to preserve tradition. I wasn't too sure what to expect from this experience, but one thing for sure is I didn't want to leave. Everything about this place feels like a movie with like all people dressing like old people in the 1940s, 1950s. Let me show you. This was actually the first building I entered. There were so many of them on display like little museums hosted in vintage houses. I didn't even know I'd entered a hospital. Okay, fine, I lied. It wasn't really like a hospital, but it was what it would have been if one existed. For someone that is always talking about peace, love, rest, happiness, I haven't quite touched the topic of healing, the art of unburdening your burdens. Yes, unburdening your burdens. When I speak about healing, I do not refer to the type where you are physically hurt and need a band-aid. I'm talking about the band-aid for your heart. In this journey of giving up, I hope we figure out how to let go of our emotional pain and trauma that affect our view of the world. Our past experiences should be lessons learned and not reliving hurt. Healing wouldn't be a straight process. There will be days where you feel free and whole, and some days where you get uncontrollable flashbacks and probably crawl back into a terrible habit of yours to find comfort. Hi.
In a hospital.
Oh, it's a hospital.
Yes. Well, this was not used as a hospital. It's typical to what would have been.
Okay.
Because we didn't build hospitals, couldn't afford it. So if one became available, then we just converted it into a hospital. Mind you, this would be the operating room and the dining room.
Okay. So these are like tools for.
Well, this is for the tonsillectomy. That take your tonsils out.
Okay.
And this would be for your appendix.
Okay.
So hopefully you don't have to have the appendix out. If you have money, we'll give you ether. But if not, it might be a little bit painful.
Okay.
Usually the children, their eyes just get this big. I really am out. So, but, and those are bandages. These are used for splints.
Okay. Let me look around. I'll be back.
If you have any questions, do come and ask us.
Okay. Up next was this newspaper printing place called the Strathmore Standard. I don't remember the last time I saw a newspaper, honestly. We all live in an era where everything we need to know can be googled, but it still was fun anyways. Seeing the mechanics of what went into printing manually looked cool.
Which is a 4-page. So we'll have to take those ones out and swap them with the next 2 pages and print the other side of the paper. And we'll fold them up and have a newspaper. Yeah. So have any questions about press?
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, oh, oh,
Ask you to remain seated while the train is moving. Keep all your body parts inside the train at all times. Welcome aboard once again. We hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
For some rather odd reason, I've been reading about career pivoting a lot. Women with decades of experience leaving a corporate ladder they've been climbing for years to pursue something totally unrelated to what they've tarried for. I've also read a lot about quiet quitting, drowning in 4 cups of dark coffee per day and overworking your ass to now doing the bare minimum just to keep the job. You don't go over and beyond like you used to, you do just enough to receive your paycheck. Career pivoting and quiet quitting go hand in hand. Quiet quitting was when I decided to hop on this train because it was a familiar activity and I wanted an old train experience. Career pivoting happened when we passed by the roller coasters and carousels in the next train station and I realized that, god damn it, I'm doing the wrong activity. So guess what I did? Yep, it's exactly what you're thinking. I shamelessly hopped off the train at the next station and walked back looking for the carousels and roller coasters. If you've ever gotten to a crossroad in your life currently and you're not sure of the path to take, I want to remind you that it's okay to steer off the conventional path. I sat in the train in the beginning and did something more conventional and less risky. But when I saw the carousels, it's legit called my name. And trust me, the walk back from the station was worth it. I was happier. This is my favorite quote by Jim Carrey. He said, "My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him and so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want to do, so you might as well take a chance at doing what you love to do. When you finally take that bold step, everything else unfolds from there. If I didn't leave the train to try something new, I wouldn't have discovered all these other fun rides. All it took was for me to just try out that carousel." What is currently getting your attention that you are afraid to pursue? It's high time you took a chance on yourself. Don't you also deserve happiness? Between the train ride and these other rides, which one is more fun? You tell me. You are missing out on so many opportunities because you are afraid. I wonder how many desires you've given up on because you are afraid. The many dreams in your heart which are yet to unfold. It's been 7 years now since you decided to start that company and it still doesn't exist. It's been 5 years now since you said you'd stop getting high and focus on paying off your mom's bills which keep on piling up. You're currently watching this video still high. It's been 2 years now since you said you will post videos of yourself online, showcasing your passion. The only thing that got to see it is your reflection in the mirror when you practice. It's been 3 years now since you said you'd pursue that law degree. You are currently not a degree hoarder, my darling. Your fear of looking foolish has held you back for so long, yet time keeps on moving. Whether you decide to pursue it today or tomorrow, time will not stop for you. Time stops for nobody. It's better to try and fail than live your life full of regrets. Do you think it's strange that I struggle to define home? Whenever anyone asks me about home, I always tell them that I'm in between houses. I've never really stayed in one place for a long period before. I mean, I really don't mind being in a different city, town, or country sometimes, but the stability that comes from sticking to one place is something I've loved. Home has never been a destination for me, but an endless journey. Over the years, I've slowly adapted to finding home in other people. I turned the laughter of my friends into pillows and their quirkiness into beds. Their combined strength became my dining table and their smiles my TV. In my journey of finding home, home found me. Home wasn't what I thought it would be. Home wasn't only people that looked like me, spoke like me, or grew up with the same childhood games. I was searching for a home without realizing that I had many homes. Home became all the time I got to spend with people with shared values. I know my white friend will not enjoy spicy food like I do, but she will definitely die by sword if that's what it takes to advocate for women's rights. I know sushi and Indian chicken biryani will not taste familiar in my mouth, but my Asian friend will be the first to ask me out on my days I feel blue and they will cheer me up. We might not speak the same national languages, but I know they will come looking for me for advice on fashion because they trust my opinion. And yes, We do speak fashion fluently.
Okay, how many boys are
I hated the walk back home because it dawned on me that that was our last night out this summer and everyone will be booking flights back home the next day. I really wish I could fold myself into their traveling bag so I could go along with them. Iowa is close to home, but the time difference between here and Singapore is 14 freaking hours. We've gone back to being long distance besties. I also found home on this day when my friends came to pick me up at 2 a.m. to go watch the meteor showers. This video isn't from our experience but a random video I found on the internet. The next video, yep, this video was our actual experience. It was cold and we got to see just one shooting star and some satellites we thought were shooting stars. You would think it was a waste of time, but it's now a core part of my memory. Sleeping on a bench at 3 a.m. in the cold, munching on Doritos and wishing on stars.
A happy life. Happy wife, happy life.